Hi, it's Margot Collins with the Tweed Area Arts Council at the lovely lakeside home of Gordon Wright. Join us for a conversation about his art and his many other passions.
Hello, my name is Gordon Wright. I live on Kennebec Lake, which is in Ontario, and this year I've been painting for 59 years, and started in the summer of June and July and August 1966. Yeah, so it's wonderful to have you people here.
That's
Nice, yeah.
that's a long time to be painting and still be enjoying it.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. There's a program I used to watch by A.J. Casson, and he said the only critic is time, and it was a video he had, and it was a wonderful one. So I started. How I started was I was out west with the Caron Highlanders Cadet Corps, and in 1966, and I was at Lake Louise, and I was captivated by a person painting, and the bus came and the bus went, and I wasn't on it. They had to come back to get me, and so when I got home to Ottawa, I borrowed some paints from a neighbor, and I started. In those days, we had a coal bin, and it was cleaned out. We had gas, so I made a little studio in the coal bin and painted. So I was born in 1946, so I was younger in those days, but that's how it started.
So that became a passion for you, did
Yes.
it? It was just like you couldn't not paint, it sounds
No,
like.
no.
Yeah.
And when I was in Banff, we went to Banff, and we didn't have much money, so I scrounged a little bit of money, and I bought a pencil and brown paper, and I sketched what I could. Now when I got home, like I said, I borrowed this box of oils, and I started painting. Now I had an uncle. He didn't paint, but his brother painted, and we had a cottage, and the cottage in the middle was his brother, and he painted. He painted like ducks taking off of lakes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sort of captivated by the smell and by the brushes and everything he had. So that was sort of how I started. I had another uncle, a distant uncle, Ernie Foote, lived in Toronto, and we went to Toronto for a trip. And I think I was 7 or whatever, and I contacted polio and fell out of the car and couldn't walk. But my distant uncle was an artist. He painted. I have one of his paintings still here at home. So that was sort of an inspiration of how I started. And then as I kept painting and painting, I'd haunt the galleries to find the style I might like, and whatever. And I didn't really want to take lessons. I didn't want to paint like everyone else.
Yeah, I was reading about you, Gordon, and everything I read said you're self-taught.
That's right.
You chose your own path.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd haunt the galleries, Wallach's in Ottawa, and all the galleries. I'd haunt them and find. And my favorite painter at that time was Tom Roberts, and there's one of the books he has, and I just loved it. I got one of his paintings here, and so I tried to paint like him a little bit, but then I realized I didn't want to paint like everyone. So I love this soft style, and so that was the way it started. And I just struggled along, and as I painted and I sold, few people felt sorry for me probably and bought them, and but it was enjoyable. Eventually, when I got married, we lived in Canada, Glencairn really, and I joined the Bellshorners Art League, and we would paint and show all over the place, and that's where I met my friend Audrey Ross, who when we moved here, she ended up living in Tweed, and I went and found her, and the reason I found her is I just heard she was in that area, and there's art in the park. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw the snow fence, and I knew she was somewhere near there, and I hunted for her and found her, because when we were in Ottawa, or Glencairn, or in Nepean rather, we would have a show in the summertime. It was called the Clothesline Fair, and I think she had she had the snow fence, and we'd put all our paintings on the snow fence.
Right.
So that's how it started, and then it just evolved, and I just kept painting and painting and painting.
So you've been going to Art in the Park in Tweed for how long?
Oh gosh, many years now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been retired for 20, going to be 26 years, and I've been going since we moved here full time. That was in 2000,
Yeah.
and I was going probably 20 some years, 26 years, every year. I don't think I missed a year. Yeah, and it's so that's how. So I just love it, and
But your work has really changed, hasn't it?
it has changed. Yes, and I don't want to paint, or I didn't want to paint like everyone else, and I can see a progression of my earlier work, where I do trees or whatever, and then lately I've gotten more funky, I guess, with the buildings and the crooked buildings, and I just love them, and they stand out, like you can see from around the room, eh? And I used to go out and sketch. I used to go out and sketch places and paint those places, like a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I thought, well, it's so what I do now is I just sketch. Sort of comes inside. So I just sketch on my books and with the crooked buildings and whatever, and I paint from that. So if I see something outside, it might inspire me to do that. But
what would you say about your work? How would you describe it if someone had never seen it?
well, I'm trying to find a name for it. It's abstract or semi-abstract, I think. I call it representational because it represents something. There's some abstracts that are don't represent anything to the general public. So I at least I like doing something that represents something, but it's in a sort of a funky or wonky mood style. So I think representational abstract is what it is, and I feel comfortable. The thing I like about it makes people happy.
Yes.
And it's bright and cheery, and it's positive, and so it makes me feel good. That's why
I every time I see it, I think of the word whimsy.
Yes, it's whimsical.
Whimsical.
Yes,
it is.
It is. Yes.
It's heartening.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lovely kind of playful quality to it.
People feel good about it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how long I can stretch it out? So I'm experimenting all the time. Okay. And so I'm experimenting with different things. First of all, I have umbrellas in some of them now, and I got seagulls in that one over there, which I've done seagulls before, and I've done sheep before, which sometimes I put funny humorous titles on them,
Yeah.
So like whatever. So that's where I'm going with them so far. So I haven't. I just keep the same style. I just sketch. It's all from a sketch. Mm-hmm. I got some books over there that a lot of sketches, and they developed into a painting like I have on the back wall in the other room. So that's where I am. So I just like the style, and it's easy.
Yeah.
I can make this. Somebody said it's like paint by numbers, but my sketches inside me, and I have to feel. I did lots of them, so I feel it has to be balanced and whatnot. And I try. I'm a minimalist. You wouldn't think it by the stuff I have around here, but I'm a minimalist. But I sometimes eliminate, part of the windows or something, or just plain buildings. So I try and keep it simple and plain. Simplistic is one of my mottos. Beauty flows out of simplicity. That's what I used to say for many years. So
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy to do it like that, and some people seem to really like it. So I keep painting.
I notice in your work too, you do have an eye for composition. Obviously, you're an artist.
I think I do.
There's even though you're self-taught, you've learned color and composition
Right.
how to capture something.
Right.
So when I look at your art, I think, well, how did you come up with those colors for that one? You know, because they're so colorful,
Yeah.
and yet there's a lot of depth to the colors that you choose.
Yeah, they are. I have to keep
Yeah.
it bright. If it gets too dark, it has to pop,
Yeah.
you know, for me, and it has to jump off the wall, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe later you might take some photographs of some of them, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the colors have to be bright, and I've been using a lot of water in them now with the big waves, and you have to be, somebody said I was a building inspector's nightmare. Okay? And you have to, and if you look at some of the watercolors behind you, and for someone to live in a building when the waves are coming right up to the door, you have to be insane. And I've named some of them like life jackets required,
Right.
or beach houses, and who would swim in a thing like that? But they're overemphasized,
Yeah.
which is the way I like it. You know,
It's
like,
playful.
yeah, playful. And the thing is, my style is I can make any mistake I want and it works.
I did read that somewhere too, that you're not sure if you're breaking a lot of artistic rules when you paint.
Yeah, I am.
I'm sure you are.
I am.
And
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of it.
It is. Yeah. And I make a lot of mistakes, and even mistakes are surprises. You know. But for me, I can get away with lots of stuff. Look if you see later on, you'll see the boardwalk there. Well, the boardwalk should be on a level plane, but I stand it up. But for me, it works.
Right.
And the crooked buildings, you see them just all, they should be falling over.
Yeah.
You know, but it works. I feel good about it, and it's happy. You know, so this is.
They don't look to me like they're going to fall over. They look like they're just perched.
Yeah, they're perched.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're kind of perched,
Yeah.
and they could take off at any minute.
They could. But if you're in a gloomy mood, it should take you out of that gloomy mood.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to say, you can also suggest the compositions and the colors and the
Yes.
buildings, eh?
Yeah.
And there'll be some. I have a friend down the road. He paints, but he's very structured. He's a wonderful painter. But he says to me, you can't even draw a straight line. I said, I know, and I love it. You know.
You don't need to draw a straight line.
No.
I'm wondering though, because of where you live, how much where you live inspires your art.
Well, it used to. It used to, because when I painted like trees or whatever, and the lake and things, I don't want to paint like nature anymore, you know. Or I don't usually paint a place, because I did a lot of compositions before, and people want the telephone poles where the telephone pole would be, or the porch or whatever. I eliminate all that, and I just put it the way I want it, and make the people the crooked, you know, whatever, lean it over or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. I feel like I'm getting away with it, which is amazing to me. You know,
That must be a good feeling.
it is a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I do,
Yeah.
and I strictly do sketches, because the sketch has to be alive. And what happens really, the process is I'll sketch a couple of different ones, and I can show you later some of the sketches I've done, and they're on the wall in the back here, right? And so when I do a sketch, it has to balance, it has to look interesting, with crooked buildings and everything in black and white on the paper. And the magic is the line. The line. If the line is wrong, you can mess it up. So the biggest, scariest thing is when you get a canvas like 24 by 47 or whatever it is, and you got this blank canvas, and the magic of the sketch has to be the same magic that has to go on there.
Yes.
And so, I have to, what I do is I take a brush that most of the bristles are worn off, and I just put a little black paint, and I do it very quick. I sketch very quick. It might not be exactly like the sketch would be, but it's very close. So that the magic for me has to be when I get it on the canvas. I have to do it fast, quickly, and loose, so it feels loose, you know, and fluid. And so that's the way I approach it.
So you have to kind of get your mind out of the way.
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And I sketch it really quick, and then I stand back and look at it. Then I look at the sketch and I go real quick, you know. And a lot of times, maybe if I don't like it, I'll paint over it. But it has to live. It has to live or speak to me, basically.
Yeah.
You know. And all the ones here speak to me, and the one over there, the long one, maybe I'll take a photograph of it later or something. I wanted it just blank. Like I wanted it gray and white and the chimneys and just, you know, no detail. And I'll show you the sketch later. And that's what happened. So it's so that's the way it is. So it has to be free, and I can feel the sketch if it's on the screen, on the canvas. It has to be loose and live, you know.
Yeah.
And then once that, I let it dry, and then I can do another one. Sometimes I work on 6 or 7 at the same time. I'll do the sketches and I'll do another one, then I put them away to dry, and then I just paint by numbers, you know. It's not really numbers, but it's the way I want to fill it in.
Yeah.
You know. And it's that's the easy part, but it's long, and you wouldn't think that the style I use, everything trimmed in black, seems very easy to do, but it's not. It's very tedious because I have to do it in layers and let it dry. And I like oils. I like the smell of the turpentine and whatnot, eh? And I like it because I can go back and play around with it because it stays wet for a while.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I do, and what I've been doing now is the buildings. I'm trying to, with my watercolors. I used to have 5 styles of watercolors, ink and watercolors, and I wanted to look, when I did this style in oils, I said maybe I'm confusing myself because I look like 4 different people. So what I've been doing lately is trying to do the watercolors so they look like my oil, so I look like the same person. I can do different styles, but I'm trying to do it this way now, so it's the same. So you can see over there's some there that are same. Now in the watercolors and some oils I've started, I'm doing clouds, not square clouds, but they look like marshmallows, eh?
Right.
You know, it sounds weird when you don't see them, but when you see them, you know what I mean. They look like marshmallows a little way, but I do it in the ones that are close to or bigger than the ones way far away. And the water, I put the waves. When I do waves, they're huge, big waves. It's like you got to be mentally insane to live there, you know. But it makes you laugh, and that's what I want.
White caps lapping at your door. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's right, the door. Yeah, but the beauty is you don't know what's behind it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Could be a beach that's 40 feet long or something. You don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Gordon, I'm curious about some of the other interests you have because you've developed skill in different areas.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I have. Well, I do lots of things. Whether I'm good at them or not, I don't know. But I have to love what I'm doing.
I think you are. I think you're good at them.
You're very kind. Thank you. But I still have to struggle with the things. You know what I'm doing, eh? Well, when I was 15, I write bluegrass music. And when I was 15, I started writing, and I wrote a bunch of tunes and went to cadet camp, which we talked about earlier, in Banff. And a friend of mine, he was a senior instructor, and he played music like I did, and there was other people there that played music. So I gave him one of my songs I wrote, and he recorded it and on his albums that he did. And one time I knew he was coming to where we were lived, so I went to see him, and he had recorded it and put it on an album, and he said to me, "Oh, I've been looking for you for a long time," blah, blah, blah. But he put his name on it, which is cool. I gave it to him anyway. And they were playing in Virginia or somewhere in the States, and Bill Monroe, which is the father of bluegrass, was there, and he said, "That's a great tune," you know. But I had to buy the album.
They didn't give you a complimentary copy.
No, I didn't give the album. I had to buy it. But anyway, I love them dearly. We met again and we've done things together. Went to the bluegrass festivals and with my wife and I and him and sat. But anyway, it was. But I've been writing. I write. Almost 300, I think now I've written, and like I said, I had one recorded by the Spinney Brothers in Virginia at Mountain Fever Records, and it was called When You and I Were Young. Not When You and I Were Young, Maggie. That's what comes up when you punch it in there, but it's on the album, their album called Living the Dream. Anyway, it's number 2 on there, and it's I think it's a really good album. And they contacted me, and I ended up on the long list, short list, and then on the number 2 on the CD. And I've got other friends from that CD who have been co-writing with recently from Florida. So we wrote a tune, and he does that all the time, eh? And so he took it, and I wrote it. He liked it. And he added to it, and it's in Florida somewhere. And he sent it out somewhere. We haven't heard back yet. So I've got lots, but I put them on my Facebook page, and I just me plunking away on the guitar or whatever, and been doing that for quite a few years now, and people seem to like them. So I just so I'm trying to get them to more people if I can. So I do that, and then I've been doing that for a long time, and then I always wanted to play the pipes, the bagpipes. And so in 2000, I belonged to the Camerons in Ottawa, and I have friends in the band in those times. And I said, one night I said, I'd like to play the pipes. So he said, get this. And so I got the chanter, and I got a book, and I played from 2000 to 2005 here on the lake, and taught myself. And I had about maybe 8 tunes I played. And then I contacted him. I said, I need a set of pipes. I need ones that are made in Scotland, and he knew what I meant, and so he found me a set. So I put them all together, and I played. It's 2 instruments. One is a practice chanter. It's like a snake charmer, really, or everything. And you learn the tunes on that first, and so then I got on the pipes, and I practiced with it, and it sounded horrible. I think a lot of the loons would leave the lake, and I think maybe the neighbors too. I don't know, but I got to maybe 8 tunes or so down, and in Caladar they had a Christmas parade, and the pipe band in Napanee came and played there. And so one time I watched them, and they go down on the street, turn around, and come back again. So I said, after 5 years of playing, I said, I think I need to be with the band. So I went down, and I brought my pipes, and I said, my wife and I, she was in the restaurant at the time, and I said, I'm going over to see them. So I went to see them, and I said, could I play a tune with you? And the pipe major was there, and he said, sure. So we played a couple of tunes that I knew, and so then they told me where they were, and I've been there since 2005, and I've been playing with the band there in the Napanee District Pipe Band. Yeah,
okay, so you're, let's start over again. You're a self-taught artist.
Yeah, well.
You're a self-taught bagpiper.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I writing songs.
Yes, yeah.
And I've been writing
self-taught songwriter.
Yeah, and I've been writing pipe tunes. I've got
right
26 pipe tunes in a what do you call it? Facebook? A Facebook site called Bagpipe Compositions. So I've got mostly 26 or some there. And if you scroll down, I haven't posted for a long time. And I had some friends to help me from England. He helped me start, and I did that. And then I've been writing, and I've got maybe 26 tunes on there.
And you're a bluegrass composer as well,
and
a player.
Bluegrass songwriter. Yeah.
And
I play the banjo. I'm playing the banjo for not good, because I've never had a lesson there either, but for amuse myself. And I played the Flinton Jamboree I think 4 or 5 times, and the Marmora Country Jamboree about 4 or 5 times, and other places too. We played all over, and we played for years and years and years, and privately, parties. And one time we played at a party, and we were just moving along really fast doing stuff, and played all night, and the people going around shutting the curtains because they didn't want the sun to come up and quit. Yeah.
And then when we just arrived at your place,
Yeah.
you took us into your garage
Oh,
and
yeah.
showed us
Yeah.
another passion.
I love antique cars. Antique cars, the teens, the 1920s, the 1930s, and the 1940s. And I have 3 antique cars in the 1920s. I have a 1926 Ajax. I didn't restore that. It was restored. My wife and I bought it like that. And it's a sedan. And it's an Ajax. It's only 1 year under that name. And it's beautiful, green and everything. And then we went to Sterling, the flea market in Sterling, my wife and I. And she was getting worse. She had MS and then passed away with bladder cancer. But I looked after her, and I couldn't get out to the garage and work, because I didn't want to leave her alone. And so I called her the Duchess, and we had a wonderful life. Married for like 47 years. It's wonderful. Met her at a wedding. She didn't want to go to the wedding, but the people I knew were getting married. They said there'd be guys there, so I went and met her at the table and bought her a drink, and we danced, and then asked her. I waited, like I tell everybody, I waited 2 weeks to call her back. She was right on the phone. She got right there. She answered, "Yes, I'm going. I'll go."
She was waiting for your call.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Not really, but I tell them that. And I belong. Another thing, I didn't bring it up on the camera, but I belong to the Regimental Association. I'm a life member of the Regimental Association of the Cameron Highlanders of Ottawa. Now, my dad fought with them overseas and got decorated with the military medal for bravery in the field by Montgomery. And that's a picture of my father in Montgomery there in Belgium in 1944. Now, we knew about the medal, we knew about all that, but we didn't know that. And they died a week apart in 1993, and they didn't know there was a picture, a photograph.
Your parents died.
My parents died, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the meeting. Someone comes up to me and says, "Gord, your dad's picture's in the archives in Ottawa being decorated by Montgomery." And I said, yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know there was a photograph. And they had long gone by then, eh?
Yeah.
And so we finally got that and everything. So, but I've been the secretary for over 20 years, and I'm a life member there now. And when I can get there, I go to the meetings, like the first Monday in December. I'm going down. We do a photograph of all of us and everything. You see one in the background.
And that's in Ottawa.
In Ottawa, yeah, at the Cartier Square Drill Hall, yeah, yeah. Whatever. So,
one more question. I generally ask this, not all the time, but because you've had such a varied life and so rich, it sounds so rich.
Yeah, it is. I've been truly blessed.
Yeah,
truly.
You have taken advantage of every moment.
Every moment, because I was born in the Glebe in Ottawa, okay, in the 1940s, and we moved in, and my dad, when he came back from overseas, and we moved into with my aunt and my uncle, my cousin, and my grandmother, and it was my mother and I and me, and I was born, and my whole life has been magical. I absolutely can't think of one thing that's negative. If I could go back, I would jump at the chance to go back and look at everything, eh?
Yeah. You are a treat. You have so much happening.
I'm dangerous, I think.
You are dangerous.
I think so.
In the best way.
Yeah, somebody said to me one time, he said, "Gord, you should come with a better best before date." or a warning label.
A warning label.
Or warning label, eh? It's so nice to have you here, though, in where I live, and you know.
It's lovely. It's been lovely chatting with you, and I think we should have a look around.
Yeah. Hello, this is a song I wrote for my wife and I back in 2010, May the 26th, and it's really about my wife and I, and it's called Just Two Old Crows. I love it. It's my favorite of all of them I've done. I think I've got over 300 and some written, and this is my favorite. Well, I have my tuxedo on, your black dress, girls look nice. Don't know where we'll dine tonight when we're out upon the town. Our nails and shoes polish up just right. You can pick where you want to dine. The two old crows, we sure look fine sitting on this wire. It's a treasure to have you here, sweet darling. Great to have your feathers next to mine. I know where we look to get under. For two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. Well, we don't fly like we once did, flap our wings and glide a bit. Trips so small, we've seen it all, but tonight we're on the town. I haven't seen you look as good since we were young and in our prime. For two old crows, we sure look fine sitting on this wire. It's a treasure to have you here, sweet darling. Great to have your feathers next to mine. I know we were meant for each other. Oh, two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. I see a twinkle in your eye, have not seen there for a while. We were great, we danced all night when we're out upon the town. Well, the moon came up and it went down. We flew home, boy, we are tired. And two old crows, we sure look fine sitting on this wire. It's a treasure to have you here, sweet darling. Great to have your feathers next to mine. I know we were meant for each other. Oh, two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. Well, we stayed up late when we were out. Now it's great to lay about. I sure get tired when I go out upon the town. Don't have to ask, I know you're the same. Feed her up to relieve the pain. For two old crows, we sure look fine sitting on this wire. It's a treasure to have you here, sweet darling. Great to have your feathers next to mine. I know we were meant for each other. Oh, two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. It's a treasure to have you here, sweet darling. Great to have your feathers next to mine. I know we were meant for each other. For two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. Yeah, for two old crows, boy, we sure look fine. Thank you very much. Love you, hon. Start in 1966, summer.
What were you, 3?
1966. I'm going to be 79 in December.
Get out!
I am.
Holy.
Born on December the 20th, 1946. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, going on 35, I think, though.
I think so too.
Okay, so